You're tuned in to We Talk Radio Network.
Now the question is,
I would
what
think
is
it's
the law?
When I think about the law for the Bible, I think about principles and teachings. That's what I think about. As far as how to guide your life, and what God would have for His people.
That's close.
Okay. Pastor, talk to us. What is the law?
The Mosaic Law, the Ten Commandments, handed down by God through Moses, and given to the people in order to mold them into the people that He intended for them to be, His chosen people. After bringing them through Egypt, through the Red Sea, them winding up in the wilderness for 40 years, what happens is, because of unbelief, they lost a generation in the wilderness. So nobody above the age of 40 went into the promised land. When we talk about the love of God, when we talk about the law of God, it is a tool which God uses to lead His people in the path that He has chosen for them. However, they have a choice in the matter. They don't have to go down the road He chooses, but they have to deal with the repercussions and the consequences of those choices that they make. So the question was, were we under the law?
Are we still under the law?
We're under grace. The Christian believers believe today Jesus came to fulfill the law. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 says, "Don't think I've come to change the law, to wipe it out, but I've come to bring it to completion." And so now we're under what is called grace as opposed to the law. It is the law plus grace. It's not exclusive of the law. I mean, you don't wipe the law out because we're under grace. We embrace the law because the laws are the principles by which we live. How we
So
choose
that's
one
just
another.
like when the text reads that when the Lord was talking to Peter and saying all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient.
That's correct. Yes, sir. There are several scriptures that deal with the fulfilling of the law. Jesus came to complete what had begun. The Old Testament is shadows of good things to come, and the New Testament completes and all of the teachings of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, declares that Jesus came to fulfill the law. And He expressed it before He even did certain things. He said that the law might be fulfilled. He would do this thing or He would do that thing in order that the Old Testament and the New Testament would flow in harmony with one another.
Wow. So
by grace, that gap, the gap is bridged. It's bridging the gap through His grace.
Yeah. He comes to fulfill it with grace. The law is a schoolmaster. It teaches us the difference between right and wrong, but it does not help us to keep it. So Jesus comes along and He teaches us verbatimly. He tells us and He changes certain things in chapter 5 of Matthew, he tells us, I know you've heard and it's been told of old, an eye for an eye. He said, but I say that if your brother offends you, then let him. In another word, he says, if your brother slaps you on the cheek, then you turn him the other.
Wow.
So he comes to take it to another level. But it really rests on the fact that you believe or not believe. Right?
Okay. Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, right.
It's like activating your faith under his covering of grace and believing that God has already taken care of everything and he's already fought the battles for you. So that's why, it speaks of if thy brother offends you, or basically slaps you on the cheek, turn him the other, because God already has that covered. He has you covered in his grace by your faith in order to uphold and keep the. There you go.
Yes, sir. And that's true. And then it also it helps your brother. Even though he just insulted you, you're a better man because you're standing on a principle.
Wow.
When we talk about God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, it's the love of God that holds everything together. But it's the obedience of the Son that saved us. Because he was obedient unto God. He went all the way to the cross. Yeah, he went all the way to the cross reluctantly. But he went all the way to the cross so that we might have the right to the tree of life. But it began with belief. Yeah, there's a passage in John chapter 20 that says that when Jesus came back to his disciples after his resurrection, Thomas missed the first meeting, and so he came back the next week. And he said, Thomas, you believe because you have seen. He said, but blessed are those who believe and have not seen. And there are many things that were written in the Bible, and there are many things that were not in the Bible that he did. But the things that were written that we might believe. So, there's a lot of different words out there going on in our world today as to what we should believe. There are new religions popping up every day. And the internet puts us in a position where we have a lot of knowledge but not much wisdom. And we don't have a lot of guidance in what we should believe. But I do know that God stands behind his word. And if we stay with his word, then we can be a recipient of his blessing. That's what I know.
You're tuned in to We Talk Radio Network.